14.
As the Kansas City Metro struggles with violence tonight, it wrestled with what to do to prevent more.
I witnessed this. It could have been me. It could have been our family members. They were all there that night coming to visit us at the truck. Like, we need to do some things.
And that's from a food truck worker who was just feet away when a 25-year-old innocent woman was killed at First Fridays last Friday. Now the question is, what do we do? Right now, Kansas City is on pace to surpass the homicide totals from 3 of the past 4 years. So far this year, 85 people have been murdered. And tonight, as part of our Safe KC initiative to bring you stories of solutions to crime in our community, we have team coverage of what's being done to stop and prevent the violence. 41 Action News reporter Kat Reed found out how our elected leaders plan to turn talk into action.
Well, Krista, more than 300 people have been shot so far this year in Kansas City, and Missouri ranks 7th in the nation for gun violence. Local leaders who spoke today say the blame rests in Jefferson City and in Washington, D.C.
Are you disgusted? Yes. But just being disgusted is not enough.
Their calls to end violence we've all heard before.
But right now our issue needs to be nothing more important than fixing violent crime in our community and fixing gun crime in our community.
Leader after leader spoke at a community meeting Wednesday night organized by Congressman Emanuel Cleaver.
People feel helpless. They know there's a problem and they can't figure out what to do. Well, we gave them some things to do tonight.
Nearly all of the solutions offered involve Jefferson City and Washington, D.C.
Gun laws matter. It's one thing, it is one tool, but it does matter. Because if you look at Missouri, it is not an accident that we are in this position.
Missouri has permitless concealed carry. Kansas City, St. Louis, and Springfield are all in the top 12 for the FBI's most dangerous cities.
What does that say about our public policy in the state of Missouri?
But Capitol Hill drew most of the focus.
300 million Americans, and one American is holding it up.
Congressman Cleaver referring there to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who hasn't brought to a vote gun control measures passed by the House. One example is H.R. 8, which would require a background check for every firearm sale.
If the Senate Majority Leader is forced to bring to a vote H.R. 8, then we know this works. And if it works, then we have to keep doing it until we get as many of the sensible laws passed that we need to reduce the number of homicides.
And Krista, I asked the congressman if people just need to wait and rely on Jefferson City and Washington, D.C. to see meaningful change on gun laws. And he said, unfortunately, they have to wait on that. But he said, if you're really concerned about this, it's time to get involved in the political process. Reporting live in Kansas City, Kat Reed, 41 Action News.
Yeah, we do hear that. Thank you so much, Kat, for that. As the city discussed changes to First Fridays following the deadly shooting, tonight we're hearing from the food truck workers who were just steps away from the gunfire.
It's just too bad that something so beautiful as what that event is about art and coming together as a community has been, I think, kind of ruined.
Whitney Robinson was working in the Mad Greek food truck when the gunfire started last Friday night. She now has a message for the leaders of the city and the state.
I know that it's a systemic problem. I know that there's parts of this city that are really, really impoverished, and where kids turn to that security of a gun because it's all they know, and that needs to change.
25-year-old Erin Langhofer died in the shooting, and police say she was an innocent bystander standing right next to the Mad Greek food truck. Her family says her passion in life was to help others. Prosecutors charged 18-year-old Dante Copney with the murder. He was arraigned earlier this week. Police say the shooting began as a fight near the food trucks at 18th and Main. City leaders are debating changes to First Fridays. One idea, shrinking the footprint of the event so police have less ground to cover when they're protecting everybody. As for Whitney, who works at the Mad Greek food truck with her mom, they say they will not go back to First Friday. As city and state leaders debate how to combat violent crime, one local group is stepping up to try to help and working to prevent kids from going down the wrong path. New here at 10 o'clock, 41 Action News reporter Tom Dempsey shows us what they are doing.
After growing up along the east side, Marita Johnson knows a thing or two about seeing crime.
I used to steal to feed myself.
The 30-year-old once even spending time in jail until her life changed.
But I just gave a promise to God, like, if you give me this one chance, I assure you I won't do this again.
Her one chance now seen on places like the court. Johnson creating an organization called No Lost Souls, bringing more than 24 at-risk children and teens together, like 12-year-old DeMonte Alvarez.
I see people carry guns, I see drug dealing, I see fire everywhere I go.
The basketball, field trips, and classes about jobs and skills, offering an important lesson.
People say, like, the streets is my life. Well, the streets don't get you nowhere but killed or in jail, and I don't want to be in either one of those places.
Johnson knows the personal impact of No Lost Souls could also help this city.
I want to keep them active. I want to keep their mind on something. I don't want them to be bored and want to get in mischief.
The effort to stop violence in Kansas City has even spread to some street corners, including here in Independence and Prospect, where members of War Cry Kansas City come out every day to wave signs.
Members of War Cry hope their daily effort can make a difference after witnessing the horrors of crime.
I'm a trauma nurse, so I see the violence, I see the crime, I see the young adults, young men, young women shot, stabbed.
A movement to stop violence in Kansas City.
We must come together, Kansas City!
With people like Marita Johnson hoping it keeps growing.
I want to give them that person that's going to stand beside them and say, I see your potential, we going all the way.
Tom Dempsey, 41 Action News.
As part of our Safe KC initiative, 41 Action News is teaming up with people and groups working on everyday solutions to keep our families safe, and we're telling those stories on a regular basis. If you have a story idea for us, email us. It's at safekc@kshb.com. President